Well, Susan Libby knows all about that firsthand from her time working in Chicago's public health system in the 1980s. That's when she heard a shocking and dangerous conspiracy theory being spread around her. Susan joining us now from Chicago. Susan, take us back to the 1980s, first of all. This is almost quite an extreme version of this case, of this definition of anti-Semitism. Tell us what you experienced.
I was the only Jewish person in my department, and it was kind of just when the AIDS epidemic was getting really, really bad, and it was coming into everyone's consciousness. I never thought anything like this could happen, but out of the blue, I had not known that much about Louis Farrakhan's ideology. I heard about his absolute hatred of Jews. I guess I had been unaware of that part of his ideology. And suddenly I heard that a very high up employee in the Chicago government, city government, who was a direct aide to Mayor Eugene Sawyer, had been broadcasting through media and other ways that our doctors, the Jewish doctors that had been working as public health doctors, and he had been spreading a rumor that the Jewish doctors who had been working in the public health clinics in the Black communities in Chicago had been injecting Black babies with HIV when they were vaccinating them.
So we're talking about doctors who are part of the public health system. They are doing, maybe the most important work there is out there to try to save people's lives during the AIDS epidemic, no less. And these are the kinds of accusations leveled against them. How did you react at the time? I mean, what could you do, if anything?
I was kind of numb because it was so out of left field. I don't even think I knew how to react. But suddenly I was kind of thrust forward, being the only Jewish person, and I was asked to answer the many, many calls that were coming in. They set up a special kind of a hotline at the Department of Health with people that didn't know what to believe. And I had to speak to those people and listen to this propaganda.
Do you think at the time, I mean, was part of this to do with people simply not being familiar? I mean, beyond ignorance, beyond believing this unbelievable rumor that was started against Jews, how many people had actually even met somebody Jewish? I mean, was it strange for you to be one of the only, if not the only Jewish person there?
I was not the only Jewish person in the Department of Health, but I was the only Jewish person at that time in the HIV program at the department. And I personally had a lot of personal experience with the clinics on the south side of Chicago. I went there quite a bit as an educator. I had a lot of experience with the community, I think, which helped, because I don't think a big part of the Black community actually believed this guy, but it was scary enough. And the most disappointing part of the whole thing for me was the fact that there was not a swift response from the Black politicians in Chicago. And it didn't come up again until this latest business with Farrakhan and these high-profile Black athletes, Black actors coming out and repeating Farrakhan's words. So this was like deja vu for me, only I think the Jewish community, it seems like they were a little bit more ready with the way they responded this time.
All right, Susan Libby in Chicago, thanks so much for sharing your story in the 1980s, pertinent today when we look at the rising levels of anti-Semitism in the U.S. and around the world.